We're back. It's Saturday, and we're on our Black Media Network with the Watchdogs with Carlton and Julius. And happy Saturday. Happy 4th of July. Happy Juneteenth and all that. What Carlton, you muted, but what did y'all do for Juneteenth?
Juneteenth?
I mean, 4th of July and Juneteenth.
I don't celebrate the 4th of July.
But Juneteenth.
There's no reason for me to celebrate the 4th of July. I wasn't freed on the 4th of July.
Oh, Lord. Right
Yeah, I was not freed on the 4th of July. That does not apply to me. So I'm celebrating somebody else's freedom when they won't even give us all the hours. So it's a non-holiday to me. I might go around and eat somebody's barbecue because I ain't got nothing else to do, and they are celebrating it, but I'm not.
Carlton, did y'all do something in Scriven? Did y'all put something together or get together?
The one thing I realize is people tend not to do gatherings too much anymore. So nobody called me and said anything. People cook, so because it's a 4th of July barbecue, because it's 4th of July, but that was about it.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Let's start there today. This is one of the things we have the luxury of doing on the Watchdogs is we have a set agenda, but we also can deviate from that. But whatever happened to that, y'all? It used to be a time where gatherings, get together, people would have family over and just put the grill out and all that stuff, and neighbors come over. Family reunions, I saw a post today. Why don't we get back to family reunions? What has happened to all of that?
Two things. You want to know what they are?
Lack of knowledge?
Inquiring minds are waiting.
One is we got away from that because one is called air conditioning. Air conditioning. Well, that's two. Mm-hmm. One was climate change. Climate change got everybody in the house. Two is air conditioning. I heard Judge Burke said that's the most dangerous thing, detrimental thing to happen in the Black community in 50 years was air conditioning. Mm-hmm. Because it took grandmama and auntie them off the front porch controlling our neighborhoods and watching our kids. They were neighborhood watch before neighborhood watch became neighborhood watch. And they used to tell the parents when their kids were messing up. But now it done got too hot because, some people don't believe that the Earth's environment is changing, getting hotter, and it's getting colder in the winters. They don't believe that. And so it sent everybody inside. So you don't have those civilian police no more sitting on the porch minding you and telling your mama. So that's what happened.
I mean, tagging along on what you said, what I was going to say is the host deceased. The ones who used to put all the events together, do the majority of cooking, call everybody and be like, hey, we doing this weekend. They dead. They in the ground.
Yeah.
They done gone on to meet Jesus. So those people we can't count on the young people because they don't want to do nothing but show up. They don't want to be part of the setup. They don't want to be part of helping out during the function. They want to be a part of cleanup. So when they want to leave, but they want to come party, do that. But somebody got to take up the mantle, and nobody wants to take up the mantle that others used to hold.
Ain't that funny? Right. They don't want to take up the mantle, but they should take plates and go home and take off.
That's right. Yeah. They take a plate.
We got to change that, though. That's a part of, that's what we're talking about, this week and last week and next week is building back better communities. That's when community was really community, because you're right, Carlton. I'll never forget my aunts on my mom's side. All of the aunts would either flip the bill, but they had it like that. They were all teachers. And back in that day, being a teacher meant you had pretty, significant income. So you had 2 or 3 people that would flip the bill for hundreds. And that's just not how it works anymore. I used to do it, but then I had to realize, I ain't got it like that. I mean, but we got to get back to a more community way of living. How we do that? Hopefully, we want to bring Jamal Touré. So I know Jamal Touré is watching this. He watches all of our shows because he wants to be the #1 show, which never happened. But run tell this, Jamal Touré, we need you on the show next week, and we want you to help us design these solutions that I done talked about, the brother. But let me play this here. One of the things I've been wanting to talk about. We know in our community that jealousy, hate exists, whatever you want to call it. What I was watching Tyler Perry's documentary the other day, he was talking about how, he didn't get a lot of hate from the white people. Bernard Brown, he didn't get hate from the Asian people. He got more hate and disgust and foolishness from his own people. We got to stop that. But let me just play this clip to prompt that conversation really quick.
We're Black, and this is not our town.
Right.
We've got to come in and understand how they play the game.
Sure.
And realize that we can get in and get to what we want to get to by not selling out, not doing anything crazy, but by understanding how they play the game. It's fascinating to me. I'm from New Orleans, man. Just, third water New Orleans. When I got here and I saw how these white folks operate, I was like, wow.
It's crazy, huh?
Man.
It's
and coming from where we come from, be like, nah, get your mutton that, you just want to be over with it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I that's the fake, get that. But no, hope, just step back and pay attention.
Yeah. Someone outside of the culture trying to tell someone within the culture what's authentic to the culture is one of the most ostracizing things I've witnessed.
Yep. We're at a disadvantage because we're Black and this is not our town.
Right. T.I., I got to give a shout out to T.I. as well. He's built a dynasty, Candy Birds. But one of the things, I don't know if y'all noticed, I used to live in Atlanta. And I'm not saying Atlanta has it all together. They have their own issues. But the one thing I don't understand in certain communities is how we tear one another down instead of building each other up. In fact, we wouldn't have to go to the other side of the island and ask for resources if we had our own resources. What we are now witnessing as a gentrification is the whole process of making us beggars again, right? We can't compete because we can't own. So we don't own. So we're always working for. So, I mean, with that in mind, all that, that's a lot to unpack. Who wants to take a stab at helping us begin to unpack that whole concept? All of
it. When you say, well, first of all, when it comes to unpacking that, you have to realize that you're not going to be able to bring everybody. Some people are going to get left behind, and that is absolutely okay. You have to construct yourself around like-minded individuals in order to want to get out of that situation. If you find a group of like-minded individuals who is actually apprehensive to go, that wasn't apprehensive to go forth and endeavor like that, then yeah, it'll work. But when you're trying to include the whole culture is like crabs in the barrel. One person dragging somebody else down. The one thing that we have to realize is that no matter how much we may try and bring our people to the top, everybody's not going to be at the top. There's still going to be some people at the bottom, and that's just the way that it works.
You muted, huh?
I say you're right, because there's some people that don't want to advance. They're just fine where they are. I know several people that works on the trash truck. Somebody got to do it. That works at hotels and making beds and cleaning rooms, and they don't want to advance. They love their job. So, and you're right. Some people just aren't cut out to advance, to take that next step. And that's part of our problem. We are complacent and content with what we see around us, what we see. We're comfortable. We get comfortable. We don't want to take that risk. And with these kids today, hell, it's going to be even harder because they don't want to really work. They want you to give them something. So it's just hard.
So, go ahead, Carlton.
I feel like that slightly came from I used to have people around my age that like their parents would give them what they wanted. They had to work for this thing, and then they say then they got older and they had kids. So my kids are not going to be like that. I'm giving my kids everything they want. Now you done gave them everything they want, and they don't want to work for that.
Correct.
What's that about? What's work? But we're gonna step away. We got a message here from Patty Hewitt, and we'll be right back.
I'm Patty Hewitt, and I'm worried about our future.
Last one.
I think about my grandkids and the belief that they deserve every opportunity. And what you deserve, what coastal Georgia deserves, is someone who cares more about their community than about corporate profits and big pharma.
I'll see you later.
All right, thank you. Small business owners and hardworking Georgians are the heart of our community.
Good day.
Not CEOs, not lobbyists, not shareholders, but who's taking care of them? It's time to ask yourself, what do you want from your government? This is our year to stand up against what we know is wrong. No more DC politicians invading our home life. No more racism that kills dreams and spreads violence. And no more corporate greed at the expense of workers' rights and our environment.
So what would be the most meaningful help to you?
I've spent the last 8 years working behind the scenes, mobilizing our communities for positive change. And while that is really important work, I can't stand by and allow the same tired politicians to run this country, the same ones who've neglected the real needs of Georgians. I'm ready to take our seat in Congress so I can fight for you and your families.
I vote for you.
Thank you, my darling. I love you. This isn't about party lines. This is about voting for a better future for more Georgians. Enough is enough.
All right, you all. So we're back on the Watchdogs here this Saturday at noon. Y'all, we didn't do our first, thank you, Carlton, for being a great distraction because I was totally into what you said earlier. But we got to do our closer look. This week, we're going to take a closer look at the dumb Democrats and their decision to try to want to vacate Joe. Hold tight.
New fallout for President Biden after the debate last week. The first Democrat in Congress now calling on the president to step aside in his re-election bid. You're watching Eyewitness News at 11:30. We're live on ABC 7, Hulu, and wherever you stream. I'm Philip Palmer, and the White House defiantly pushing back on growing concerns about whether President Biden is fit to serve another term. This as former President Trump gains a new legal victory, delaying sentencing in his recent criminal conviction. ABC's M. Wen breaks it all down from Washington.
President Biden facing immense pressure from some Democrats, now blaming his widely panned debate performance on jet lag. At a fundraiser in Virginia, Biden saying he wasn't very smart for going on 2 foreign trips earlier in June, telling donors he, quote, almost fell asleep on the stage. But the president returned 12 days before taking the stage with former President Trump, with sources saying his debate prep included time for rest. Now, the first congressional Democrat, Lloyd Doggett of Texas, expressing on CNN what some only dare to say in private, that President Biden should drop out.
He delivered us from Trump then. He could be delivering us to Trump this year.
Even former Speaker Nancy Pelosi on the president's mental acuity, admitting on MSNBC.
I think it's a legitimate question to say, is this an episode or is this a condition?
The White House pushing back.
What I can tell you is that he had a cold and a bad night. I would not see this as an episode.
But some Democrats who still support Biden are pointing to Vice President Harris as a possible replacement.
I will support her if he were to step aside.
Meanwhile, the judge in Donald Trump's hush money case out of New York is delaying sentencing following the Supreme Court's ruling on presidential immunity. The defense argued some of the evidence related to Trump's time in office should never have been put before the jury, including testimony from White House Communications Director Hope Hicks. Trump's sentencing was set for next week, but has now been pushed back to September 18th. As for calls for President Biden to step aside, a new CNN poll shows Vice President Harris outperforming Biden in a matchup against Trump. Win.
I almost said a word I won't. Y'all go for it. Y'all go for it.
Well, let me take a stab at it. because this is my problem with Democrats. They're too damn soft. Do you see anybody that's with Trump that really is with Trump talking about Trump need to get out? No. The Democrats are just too soft and doing too many things that they shouldn't be doing. Saying things that they shouldn't be saying. That what they should have said was just look at Trump. I'd rather have Trump at 120 years old than Donald Trump in his the capacity that he's in now. I'd rather have a 120-year-old Trump Biden. I'd rather have Biden at 120 years old than Trump at 40. Trump is an idiot. And if people don't understand the importance of them getting out the vote, the importance of them being engaged and seeing what can happen, this man is the Antichrist. If you all believe in Christ, this is the guy that they were telling y'all was on the way. He is here. Everything is on the way. So if you just want the world to end, then stay your ass home. Call.
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of want to offer a conspiracy theory about what I feel like is going to happen.
Please offer something because this is stupid.
I genuinely feel like Biden is going to win. Something between now and the polls in November is going to happen. He's going to push his numbers super high. He's going to win. He going to give Kamala, because he has to make it over the 5-year hump to get all his medical benefits. So he'll give her about 1.5 years, 2 years. Because if he goes over the 2-year mark, he can actually turn the reins over her and she'll serve. She will be the first president since Roosevelt to be able to serve technically 3 terms. Since 10 years is the max that anybody can sit in the seat. But yeah, I feel like he's going to get sick or something's going to happen to him, allegedly. And he's going to turn the reins over there instantaneously. It's not the matter of the fact about who's in the presidency seat. It's just a matter about keeping it in Democratic control for the moment.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and what you said calls him coupled with what Julia said, that makes a lot of sense. Democrat, I see this every week. Democrats want to invite everybody to the cookout. You know what? Just like the Republicans put a wall around us using Project 2025, let's put a wall around our strategy and put our foot up their asses and win this election and keep it in Democratic control. That's the pathway. That is the pathway. Stop worrying about it. The man got a brain. I don't give a damn if he didn't have a brain at all. He better than what we would. Baby, if Trump come in and appoint 3 more justices, y'all might as well say this is United States of Russia. And that ain't no joke.
Well, I mean, but then ultimately, I feel like if it came to the point where something like that did happen, they would pack the bench. They would just put more justices, and then they would pass some law saying that once certain ones fall off, you couldn't put any more on there. They would limit the number, but they've always threatened to pack the bench if something drastic like that happened.
But the thing is, Democrats got to have big kahunas. They don't have any big kahunas, and if you don't have the guts or the balls to make the changes necessary because you're trying to save the country, don't do it through no policy. Do it through bold action. Put those 4 other justices on the Supreme Court. Make it 13. Do it now. Do it right now.
Right now.
So put those. Be bold enough to say, if Donald Trump is saying this and he's going to do this as president, let me go and lock his ass up right now. That guy, Kevin Roberts, that created the Project 2025, go and lock all of them up right now. Every last one of them. They are a detriment to this country, and they are trying to overthrow our government. And they're telling you that that's what they want to do. Biden got to be bold.
There you go.
Got to be bold.
Baby, if I was Biden right now, go arrest Ivanka, Melania, Eric, Donald, anybody, Barron. I don't care that he's 15. Lock him up. Lock up the man that wrote 2025. Lock up the whole Heritage Foundation. Anybody with the last name Trump, lock him up. If I'm Biden, lock him up. I don't want, matter of fact, put him in solitary confinement. See, Democrats are scared to give people the medicine they deal out. You want to give me full immunity? Lock all of them up. Everybody that was even looking at January 26th on TV, lock their ass up too.
Yeah. You got to be bold. If you're talking about saving the democracy, you can't sit around and say, okay, well, we're gonna wait and see whether they do it. I don't believe you're gonna do it. Man, this man has been given powers, unchecked powers now. Before he had people telling him he couldn't do this and he couldn't do that. Now the Supreme Court told him he can do whatever the hell he wants. So he's going to order people to do what needs to be done in his mind. And you can't blame him. He's in power. If you don't go vote, then he's going to show you exactly what the deal is.
Right. And you know what? I don't put it past it being a civil war if Trump wins. I don't put us past that. You know what? We need to go back to the gun range. Let me start getting myself together because I don't put it past me no something. Y'all don't come up in Liberty City. We go over there, go to our Port Wentworth. If we break out a civil war, start at Port Wentworth. They are gonna start that, Julius, because they already mad, y'all. They real mad at you. You had to want to come over there and run for man. We ain't tell y'all niggers come over.
They couldn't win. You know.
We didn't tell y'all come over and stay over there on the west side of Savannah.
Yeah, they couldn't win. So that's just they could probably win in Bloomingdale, but they can't win here.
Well, I feel good about it because at least I'll be giving out lemonade. Y'all will be in the field. I'll be in the house. So
yeah, you're right. Light skinned brothers, me and Carlton, we got to be in the fields.
I ain't no field. I ain't going to the field. Like my ancestors said, they knew death was better than bondage.
Well, I'll pass you a little water. I'll give you an extra cup.
Then your ass then you be out in the field with us. How about that?
We'll go to the speakeasy. Y'all, I want to go back to what we played last week, just to prompt our thoughts again and get us back on track on this idea of how do we support in our community? How do we see people supporting our community, resisting our community, and what do we do to change that mentality? But I want to play what we started with last week.
The headline for Stacey Patton's 2014 op-ed in the Washington Post was stark. In America, Black children don't get to be children. I was reminded of this after hearing about what happened to Ralph Yarl, the 16-year-old honors student in Kansas City, whose mother sent him on a big brother task, pick up his younger brothers from a friend's house. But Ralph went to the wrong house, Andrew Lester's house. And rather than open the door and ask what Ralph needed, the 84-year-old shot him through the glass door and then shot him again, all for going to the wrong address. Black children don't get to be children, but no matter your age, when you're Black in America, you don't get to be fully American. With an asterisk when you're Black. We're viewed with suspicion. We're never given the benefit of the doubt. Our actions are never presumed innocent. And with that comes a lot of stress. There are moments that sneak up on you, say sitting in a Starbucks while Black, or birding in Central Park while Black, or shopping for underwear while Black, or Airbnb-ing while Black. Then there are those moments when action is needed, but if you've read my writing over the years, you know I never leave home without my driver's license, insurance card, and business card with my husband's cell phone number on it, because you just never know. I'm one vigilante, avowed racist or homophobe away from calamity. And if I got into an accident on a country road, I'd think long and hard about whether to go to the nearby house for help. Could I be putting myself in more danger by doing so? I can't afford not to think this way. That's what being Black in America means. Constantly weighing the pros and cons of countless situations and interactions and hoping you get from point A to point B with as much of your dignity intact, if not your life. All in an effort to just be. I'm so glad Ralph Yarl survived. But if you're Black in America, no matter our age, after you prayed for him, you shuddered at the thought that that could have been or will be you or a loved one. We shouldn't have to live this way. Damn shame that we must.
All right. Reactions. How do we get past this?
We got 400 years of deep-seated roots in that, and you think it's going to go away overnight? It's not.
It's not. And instead of the candidates talking about something of some substance, Trump never talks about any substance. All he wants to do is get on there and talk about Hannibal Lecter and some other stupid shit. And you have some people suffering in this country, and Trump couldn't tell you what a carton of milk costs. He couldn't tell you what a gallon of milk or a dozen of eggs costs. Trump is not the everyday man's president. Trump is the racist president. Anybody that thinks that the races should be separate, that black people, black and brown people have come too far in this country, that's Trump's presidency. Who, for people who think like that, who want it back like the old days.
All right, let's shift. I want to play one of Carlton's favorite people and get your reaction.
Black man in America for the past 400 years has been like a boy in the white man's house, begging the white man for a job, for food, clothing, and shelter. And then after the white man provides him with all of these things, he turns around and has the nerve to get angry at the white man when the white man tries to control his life. How can people, a group of people such as our people, who own no factories, have equal job opportunities competing against a race that owns the factories? The only way the two can have equal job opportunities is if black people have factories as well as white people have factories. And then we can employ whites or we can employ blacks, just like they can employ whites or they can employ blacks. But as long as the factories are in the hands of the whites, the housing is in the hands of the whites, the school system is in the hands of the whites, you have a situation where the blacks are constantly begging the whites, can they use this or can they use that? That's not any kind of equality of opportunity, nor does it lend toward one's dignity. What does a black man look like begging for a cup of coffee in a white restaurant and doesn't have a job to back up to pay for it when he does get the coffee? It's putting the cart before the horse. Instead of the Negro leaders having the black man begging for a chance to dine in white restaurants, the Negro leader should be showing the black man how to do something to strengthen his own economy, to give himself an independent economy, or to provide job opportunities for himself. Not begging for a cup of coffee in a white man's restaurant.
How do we stop begging for a cup of coffee? That was a lot. Let's start with you, Julius.
Well, it takes us all understanding that what we have to do is unite. We are ununited. We're divided, which means the same thing. We're separated. We're in all different type of factions. They have let us. They brought in a system of classism, where we think that we're so much better than other blacks below us, when it's not the case. Until we start pooling our monies, until we start doing the things that we need to do to get those factories, to get those warehouses, to get those trucking companies, until we start doing those things where we pool our monies together, we're at a disadvantage. So we got to be smart. We got to start saying, okay, look, well, the three of us, let's go buy this house over there and make it into Airbnb. We got to create generational wealth for ourselves. And we're not doing that. We're not even thinking that. We're waiting on somebody to give us some shit. And it ain't nobody giving you nothing. And until we understand that our money is stronger when we put it all together in one pot, we're not going to advance any further than this. Because guess what? We're not hollering loud enough for them to hear us. We're not advocating strong enough for them to make a way for us. So we got to do it ourselves. Ain't nobody coming to save us. The cavalry already here. We are the cavalry. We got to be able to put our monies together and make a movement. And until then, we just talking into the air, hoping that it become a reality.
Carlton, what's your reaction?
Side story kind of to give a clear example of what we need to do. Can't remember what Asian culture, but it's one of the Asian cultures where they have a fund, and somebody when they get ready to, when the fund is put, when the person who used the fund before it has put all the money back from their business, they successful. Now it's somebody else's turn to take turns from the fund. But the fact of the matter is, they'll come over here and they'll work for each other and up under each other to achieve the goal of financial freedom. But over here, we crab. But with us as a people, we crabs in a barrel. We not willing to do that for the simple fact of the matter is, nobody wants this. I ain't gonna say not all of them, but quite a few, don't want to see the other one get farther ahead than what they is. And the point is, it's not about them getting farther ahead. It's just about you waiting your turn. Everybody got to pay dues, no matter what you do to get to the objective level.
So y'all, well, I'm just gonna see if y'all I'm gonna follow on this. What are some of the top things that you see in Black communities? Brick and mortar and what we buy. Barbecue, liquor, give me some more.
Jordans.
So clothing, what's some more? Y'all missing the obvious one.
Cars.
No, you missed the obvious one. What do women got to go get?
Pocket books.
Hair.
There you go. Beauty
hair.
supplies.
Yeah, hair and pocket books.
So now watch this. How many beauty stores do you all think are on our communities? I'm not asking that for you to give an answer, but I'm willing to say more people that don't look like us own hair stores. But look at the economics on this. Look at the economics. The beauty industry brings in up to $9.4 million a year. If we really put our mind to it and got invested in this process, how much not only would we pull in as a community, but we would be making more millionaires and recycling our money. This is just a small example of what we can do with our economic power. But like both of you all said, we'll spend more time on dramatic foolishness and less time on investing and building. So I understand it's not an overnight thing, but instead of having birthday parties where we're bringing each other Jordans and Polo, we got to try to have a conversation around, this time I brought Junebug or Willie Mae a stock, a bond or something like that. We got to start changing that culture, right? And so, what are some small ways I'm thinking we could change the culture? But what do you think starts on that chart? I mean, we are hemorrhaging money by the day because our lack of ability to work together, our lack of ability to understand, and our lack of knowledge around what really matters in these communities.
What you said sounds good in theory, but if Willie Mae don't know how to pick up and read about stocks and bonds, and she ain't got no interest in checking on it, the only thing Willie Mae more than likely gonna do is sell that bond and see how much money she can get from that. Mm-hmm. And that's just facts. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's the main statement is everybody's not going to be able to come to the table. The point is it's still going to be it'll be more so a group. If we did, it would be like we could be able to look out for our own people, but in the same actuality, we can't let our own people take advantage of us just because they say, hey, you need to help me. No, you got to put in some work. If you don't put in the work, like they say, prayer without work is dead. That means you actually you got to put some effort towards what you are trying to get. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, we're already doing it right here on this platform. We're already doing everything that we should be doing. The only thing that we haven't done as a collective group on this platform and in our circle is to start pooling our monies. I have a group that I started that we're trying to do just that, but we need 500 Black men and women, 500 of us to put $50 in per week. 500 of us putting $50 in per week, $200 a month. That ain't nothing that's going to kill you if you can do it. We're talking about 500 people that can do that. And there's way more than that around here. And let's build something. Let's go build a hotel. Let's go. When we got that type of money with us with 500 people in it, giving that kind of money per week, per month, The bank's gonna look at that and give us what we want. You put the people with the best credit scores up front so that they can be the borrowers for the organization, and those ones with those 850 credit scores like Charlie Brown and all of them. You put them up front, and you go in and you get the loans you need to go build a hotel. You get everything that you need to go buy some land and build warehouses, if that's the thing nowadays. You got to do what they're doing. You got to do what everybody else is doing. We're the only ones that's left behind. We're not trying to catch up. We back there. We're not trying to catch up. So that's what needs to be done. People can get a whole lot of information just by looking at our shows. We give y'all the information every day. Every day there's something on this platform that's beneficial. You can catch us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Roku TV. It is something out there that can, and soon on radio. So it's something out there that's out there that you can use, but you got to be able to say, I'm going to change.
That's it. Carlton, I'm gonna put you on the spot when we come back. You don't toot your horn. Yeah, you don't toot your horn quite enough, and you have a nonprofit out there that we got to build up, and it actually helps the community. But when we come back from this message, I definitely want you to share, because you're doing some good things in that vein, in that manner, that we definitely want to support and highlight and hear about. Y'all hold tight.
Hello, I'm Richard Coleman, and I'm running for the office of Sheriff of Chatham County. And when I'm elected, I promise to inspect what I expect. Chatham County, it's time for a change, and that change is me, Richard Coleman.
All right, so we're talking about building stronger Black communities here on the Watchdogs today, and a moment ago, Julius talked about how the network itself, which has provided so much for the community and for others through resources, knowledge, information. And we know the mind is like a parachute, Charlie Brown. It only works when it's open. Carlton Brown has been doing some work, our co-host here, and he has a nonprofit, but I'd love for him to talk more about it and how, as the example, what I'm trying to tell people is it starts with you. And so, Carlton, if you could tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, one of being that, like I tell you, I've been a proud bus driver for the past 9 years. I've been a bus driver for 9 years, and being around kids, one of the greatest needs, the areas that I see is the young African-American male. Those are the ones, because the one thing I've realized a lot of times, they don't have too many positive influences in their life. The neighborhood is the one thing I've learned that I had to learn, was that the neighborhood is something that, like, most people think like Savannah is the neighborhood. No, when they say neighbor, like when someone say they had never been outside their own area, they be meaning the 4 blocks from where they live. That's what they know. That's all they know. Some of them, that's all they're trying to know, but some of them want to change. But the one thing that I realized is that you can introduce kids at an earlier age, stuff that'll pique their interest, to get them involved in other stuff so they can see it as a life outside of some of the craziness that I see them do. Like I said, one of the saddest stories I ever heard was earlier this year in February. I asked 2 young African-American young men, I said, what do y'all want to be when y'all grow up? And both of them unanimously looked at me and said that nothing. And I was like, I don't want to be nothing. Doctors, lawyers, rapper, mechanic, something like that. They was like, nope. I was like, that's sad. Why is it that we've gotten to the point where we're okay with allowing our children to say anything like that? And I told them, I said, the next time that I see y'all better have a definite answer for me about something that you want to do besides nothing. You got to see yourself somewhere. If you don't, you're gonna fall into that ignorant lifestyle. But my organization focuses on exposing kids to people, places, and things.
How do you do that? Just real briefly, because my point is to show people that they can do it too. You didn't wait for Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and Jesus to tap you on the shoulder. You didn't wait for Brian Kemp to give you a grant. You woke up and you said, you know what? I see a problem in our community, and I want to address it in a positive manner.
One of the first ways I started was simply by talking to them. Like, I talk to kids. They can, I tell them certain stuff is just off limits. I would not talk to children about it. But they ask me certain stuff, I'll tell them, like, certain careers, certain ones that ask about. Like I tell people, I don't know a whole lot, but I know a little bit about a lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So when they come to me and they ask me certain stuff, I can give you a kind of, I guess I say, it's a kind of sort of answer, but of the knowledge that I know. The one thing that I always tell them, you got to seek knowledge yourself, because I can tell you all day and you believe me, and I might be telling you wrong. When you go find out the information for yourself, now you know it. So now you got factual base behind it.
Right. That's right.
No,
Y'all, go ahead.
But yeah, but just like I say, certain people, like even like y'all influential black males in the community, if you get them certain just other people that that can talk to them, because sometimes you might not be able to get them, but somebody done been through something, that might know how to get through them and do a better job than you. So it's all about reaching out and collaboration.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. You're so right. In the church, we all have, like, we'll go to different churches for a reason. I tell people all the time, I'll tune in to Bishop Bryant. We're not related. Bishop Jamal Bryant in New Birth. He resonates with me. What he's talking about connects. And so you're right. Sometimes words coming from certain people don't connect. But so yeah.
Well, the reason that you connect with him so well, I don't want to stop you.
No, go on. You're good.
But the reason that you connect with him so well is because, see, you got different type of preachers now. It's messages that people are giving us now that resonates in the real world now. Back in the day, all the preacher did was preach straight out of the Bible. But now there are lessons with scripture that they give. And you like Henderson. Henderson is a great speaker. He's a great orator. T.D. Jakes gives you a story. Joel Osteen gives you a story. These guys resonate with you. I don't know whether it's phony or not.
Not TD,
but it's stories that they tell that you can relate to. They make you feel like they're speaking to you. It's a story, and they're touching on things that are relevant in your life, and so you relate to them. Jamal Bryant gives a great sermon every Sunday, because it's relatable.
Mm-hmm.
With these old preachers, they lost people because all they want to do is tell you on the third day, on the third day.
You're gonna get a blessing. Win the lottery.
Hope none of my relative pastors are looking, because they old style preachers, and all they talking about on the third day, Jesus rose. That's all they talk about, and people want a message. You gave us that message last week. Why are you giving it to us again this week? And another thing is the churches, they got to go out and we ain't talking about church. Let me go ahead.
Yeah, all right. Let me play this clip, y'all. We ended with this clip last week, right? Let me bring it back and it's just now you had a week to think about it and stew on it and just to get the conversation going again. I just want your raw reaction to what the brother's about to say.
Culture created a community for us, right? Black culture was really big for us. It brought us together. It was a sense of unity to help us evolve, to help us get some of these things that we wanted so that we can have more rights, more freedom. I think over time now with our generation, the Black culture is starting to hold us back. And people might call me a coon because I said that, right? They're saying, oh, you're generalizing Black people. This isn't what we represent. No, I understand exactly what you want us to represent, what we used to represent, what we say we represent. But it's another thing when your actions don't match your words.
And you're going to be diplomatic about it. I'm going to generalize these Negroes.
When your action don't match your words, it's like, okay, we say we are this as a community. We stand for this, we stand for that. But then we out here killing each other. We out here pants hanging below our waist. We out here wearing these Pooh Shiesty masks just because, even though it's 130 degrees outside. But we mad when people at one point.
I ain't gonna lie. Nah, I know what a Pooh Shiesty mask was, and then Little Baby wore one on his documentary. I like his Pooh Shiesty mask, I must say.
You didn't know what a poo shiesty mask was?
What is it?
It's basically a ski mask.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
But I mean, go ahead. Let me hush.
I'm gonna come up with the juice icy mask. Let these fools buy something that they can wear with my name on it. Juice icy. They coming out December 1st. I'll be done, got it together by then. Y'all can get my mask and wear that. Dumbasses. Damn pooch icy mask. All we do is follow fads. All we do is buy shoes and all that we do is buy expensive stuff that don't help us advance no kind of way. Rolex watches, the hell. My $100 watch can tell the time just the same as a damn.
I ain't gonna lie now. I only wear
Boulevard.
I only wear Boulevard. I don't know about y'all.
Say what?
I only wear Boulevard watches. I don't know about
I mean, I like watches, so I can't even say that. So
I got a collection of watches. A collection of them. The highest one in there costs $250. A collection of them. But that $250 watch I got is too expensive too, because the $5 watch could tell the same damn time. I promise you. They both run the same. And we buy all the Rolls Royces. What the hell are we gonna do with a $350,000 car?
To your point, Joe.
From the $500,000 car just because you got the money. Don't build an apartment complex or something.
But
if they can afford it, they can afford it. Let them people be.
I agree.
That's our problem now, Cartoon. We can afford it, but we can also afford, instead of buying that damn Bugatti, let's go buy that Bugatti that cost $500,000. Let's go buy let's go build an apartment complex so you can leave generational wealth for your kids.
Well, and check this out. What I've learned, I told somebody this yesterday. I will never buy a car brand new again. Time you drive that car a lot, it has lost $5,000 of value. But what I will go do buy multiple homes, because all homes is going to do and gain value. That's the mindset we got to get in. I agree with you, Carlton. Hell, I can probably go out here and go get me a Cadillac if I want, but doesn't make sense, right? Because I got people coming behind me that we got to build up. That generational wealth is something we'll probably talk about next week. And I'm glad you all asked. So we're gonna have what's her name? Alderwoman Bernetta Lanier join us, and she's going to talk about this concept called asset-based community development. But before we go, let me introduce this to us and kind of get y'all's preliminary thoughts, because it's part of building back some of our Black communities in the city of Savannah, and it's so important that we understand that government doesn't control how we work.
This is Jim. Jim lives with his family. They've lived in the same house for as long as Jim can remember. Jim loves where he lives, but he knows that other people don't see his neighbourhood this way. They see the news reports, high crime rates, unemployment, graffiti, assault, homelessness. The government has given money to services to help out, but things don't really change. All Jim sees are more services coming from outside his community and then going away again. Sometimes Jim feels down about the things he hears about his community. But it isn't the community Jim knows. He has good neighbours. They know each other and help each other out. Jim's friends come from places all around the world. The local school is part of the community. They have a community garden open to everyone, and the teachers really care. The local church has a choir Jim sings in sometimes, and a youth group where he makes even more friends. He thought it was really funny when the church minister and the hotel across the road from the church had a pretend argument through their notice boards. Each week, one would try to be funnier than the other. Jim's older brother sometimes plays with his band at the hotel. Jim knows all the local shopkeepers and knows he can buy almost anything from them he needs. There is also a community group Jim has joined. The group wants to change how people see the community. They want to promote all the things to be proud of in the neighbourhood: the parks, the shops, the schools, the project to renovate the old church, the markets, and the way the community cares about each other. The group has had community get-togethers for people to meet others. This led to some projects to clean up the grass in the school and ask council to put some bollards in. near the drop-off zone to make it safer for children waiting for their parents. The community group has, with the help of the local community bank, been able to raise enough money to build a learn-to-ride track in one of the local parks. This means children can learn to ride their bikes safely without worrying about cars. Neighbours look after the track to make sure it's kept tidy. One time, the group at the council was hiring a community artist to paint murals on walls around the city. Jim and the group asked the council if the artist could work with some of the young people in the area to paint a mural on the old toilet block in the park. Council thought this was a great idea. The artist worked with libraries and businesses. Working with others, Jim is making his community an even.
So we're talking about asset-based community development, where you take the residents and allow them to make decisions about the progress and vision of their neighborhoods in conjunction with reasonable parameters, right? And you take businesses in that community to help with the asset identification. You pool the two together and you have an asset-based community development approach with a nonprofit attached, as opposed to a city council who basically rides the laps in other parts of great parkers and wealthy people in communities and ignore the will of the people. What say you guys?
You know, that just bothers your soul.
It
Oh
does.
my, it just bothers your
It
soul.
does.
You said
It does.
You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go.
No, I want to remind
you
the
don't
people.
have to let it go, but you got to be able to.
Well, I get it, but no, my thing is,
release
what I want people got to, because see, in some communities like the one we're in, you got to keep reminding people how ignorant they are, and that's just why I'm at with it. It's like,
Yeah.
matter of fact, y'all, there's an article in the paper today, I kid you not, about their city council is going to maintain again the same millage rate because it's the lowest since 1987. We're gonna believe that again.
Yeah. Well, you don't. Those people who are doing those things, we need to criticize them. We'll need the businesses are doing what they're supposed to do. You criticize the representative, but not the businesses.
Oh yeah, no, not the business, but yeah.
So if we can get away from criticizing the business, that'd be good.
Okay, thank you, Carlton. Carlton got me in trouble. Looking like
I ain't do no such a thing.
look like Billy Porter today.
Unless the business is a detriment, unless the business is a detriment to the community, the business is not. It's really a help to the community. It's a necessary evil. He employ a whole lot of people.
Oh yeah,
and yeah. So we got to, be careful.
Oh yeah, I love him. I'm picking. I'm sorry, Greg. I love you. Let's go to lunch for real. On Carlton's time.
Now you know that. Let it go. I ain't even much gonna lie, Robert. I ain't even much got nothing. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna let you have it for the day.
What?
After the day.
No, don't do it no more.
I mean, because what he said is absolutely correct. That man don't have no. They allowing him to line if they allowing him to line their pockets to get the push stuff forward, they have truly achieved the level of politician.
Hey, you're right. You're right. I ain't thought about it like that.
I mean, they politicians do what politicians do best, being barred.
Well, I think, honestly, you all, going back to the asset-based community development, I think when it gets, and it's not the business's fault, but when it gets in the way of the citizens being able to be heard and have an input, see, I think that's where I have an issue with it is, we have a fairground issue here in my community. That fairground issue has sat over 12 years with no movement. And the residents have continuously been left out of the conversation. But those who have money, certain developers who have capital, certain investors who have things to give, their voice is listened to, and that's wrong. And so I'm not saying that Parker's doing that. I'm not drawing a line there. What I'm saying is to the politicians that go out there, it's okay to accept donations. Hell, if somebody want to give me all the money, I will. But to make clear to those same donors that you don't have the will of my ear over the people. And I think that's where the line is drawn.
Yeah. And those politicians we have to do more to get them out of office. Those ones that aren't doing what they need to do. We blame the politicians. We can't blame anybody that want to give to them. And that's what we're talking about with us collectively forming a group that's going to be one body, one motion, one movement. so that we can change things. If we don't do that, then we are just blowing hot air, like Charlie Brown said.
And guess what, Charlie? People, what do he say, mess up for 2 reasons: lack of knowledge and lack of information. Did you know that, Austin?
I mean, but yeah, after you know me, I had to sit over here and run the numbers of what Julius said earlier. But legitimately, in the course, if we was to do that in the course of a year, you could literally change the dynamic of an entire neighborhood very, very easily.
Yeah, yeah.
The maths.
Yeah. give them the numbers. Because if we go buy 10 houses.
Yeah.
He said what you said, 500 people.
Yeah.
500 black men at a course of $250 or at $250 a month. That would equal out to $125,000 in the course of a month. Now, in the course of a year, you would be sitting at an even meal. If you have a meal sitting in the account, you can easily go leverage these people. Say, hey, I got this money sitting in the account, but I want to borrow yours. Because I'm not going to use mine. I'm going to borrow yours.
Yeah.
That's how we do it. You
borrow
that.
Continue to build.
And let it continue to build. And eventually it would pay for it. It would pay for itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got to be smart. And we got to say, okay, well, we got 3 right here.
Yeah, I'm always down to invest. So
well, we got 3. You can't hesitate on it. You can't tell me, oh, that's after the first 6 months, I need my money back out of it. This is not a savings club. This is an investment group. Yeah. And we need to be able to get this thing together and do what it needs to do. And Robert, you need to start ending the show either at 57 minutes.
Okay, you just tell me this now. Bye. You keep talking.
1 minute and 1 hour and 30 minutes. You either got to go the other.
All right. Well, we'll be back next Saturday, same time, same place. All right. See y'all next week.
Good night.
Like this.